Hey there guys, so I wanted to talk about how I would take a piece of music that I want to develop into a bass chords and melody type arrangement from scratch to finished. So I'm going to use the example of the Final Countdown by Europe, because I'm from that era, and for those who know that one, it's the it's that one, right? So first thing you have to do is pick a key. Now if you're choosing keys on the guitar, it's always going to be beneficial to choose keys that utilize open strings. It's going to help you a lot. Okay, if you're going to choose keys like E flat as a starting key, then and you're not working with a capo, then you're in trouble. Or or if you're going to play in the key of F, because you're not really going to get to utilize your open strings the way you can when you play in, say, the key of E or the key of A, right? Or the key of C. So anyway, so for this one I'm choosing the key of E minor, okay? So all the same notes as G major, right? Because E minor is the relative minor of G major, so all the same notes. And so first of all you have to identify the chords, right? So for this I have my E minor, and I have that melody that goes with it. I have C, right? I have A minor. I have D major. Right? And then of course I have to put this together in a way that I can play both of those together. Now obviously if I'm playing E minor down here and my melody is up here at the 7th fret, I've got problems, right? So I'm not going to be playing standard open chords or bar chords, you know. In a lot of these things it just won't work very well. So you have to find more interesting variations on the E minor chord, and for this one I'm using an E minor 9. All I'm doing here is putting my first finger on the 4th fret on the D string, and I'm not playing the A string. That allows me to get up here on the 7th fret with my little finger and have my second finger on the 5th fret. Right? So that shape works, right? Now the next one goes, the melody goes even higher, right? And I'm on C. Now if I play the C down here, I have the melody up here and the chord down here, so that's not going to work. So obviously my choice is to use the C on the low E string here in the 8th fret, right? And of course I'm going to step it down through what would be a first inversion of a G major chord, which is just a G chord, but with the 3rd as the bass. Right. Now my next chord is A minor, and again I'm up here with my melody, so I have to play A minor somewhere else. For this one I'm using an A minor 9 chord, and all I'm doing there is my 3rd finger on the D string in the 7th fret, my 1st finger on the G string in the 5th fret, and everything else is open. And of course I can reach the melody up here with my little finger, or I can do it this way. And now I'm into a D major, because D is the fifth chord in the key of G, and this is in a relative minor key, I can do things with D, right? Like use alternative chords, something I talked about in my previous video. In this case, I'm just using diminished chords, right? And these are like just really simple. And then, of course, I have to figure out how I'm going to keep this thing moving forward. Now, for me, I want to keep a bass going, and to keep the bass separate, and to give every bass note some meaning, rather than just having it all run into each other, I have to mute the bass slightly with the palm of my hand down here. Just the bass. The rest of the notes have to ring out. All right? So for example, I would want, let's say the E minor, 9. I would practice something like that. Get that going, and I would work on something like that for each of the chords, for the E minor, for the C, for the A minor, and for the D, right? So it would be something like this. Sorry. Just to get that continuity going, obviously build that up over time until it all comes together. Now, I want everything to flow, so I'm going to connect things a little better than I've got them connected right now. So, for example, I might, from the E minor, go down to the D. So that would be like an E minor on a D bass, right? Playing the D on the 5th fret on the A string, and playing the high 3 strings with it. That gives me my sort of E minor on a D bass. And I'm stepping down there, right? So that's how I would basically take something through from a melody over some chords, right, and put it together into something that might move. Now, of course, you can put as much time as you want into this and make it as good or as shitty as you want it to be. The key is that you have to get these elements together. You have to get the melody, the chord structure, the bass, right? And then you have to put it all together in a way that you can play all of that in the same location, because your hand is only so big and can only move in so many ways. And sometimes you'll need notes behind your bass note finger, and sometimes you'll need notes above your bass note finger. So you have to figure out what finger you need to play your bass on, and practice muting the bass, all right, playing the melody, and picking out the melody, right? Now the melody is key. So it's important not to have the melody lost in the chord, right? And to do that, you have to really pick it out. Now, if you play your bass and your chord too aggressively, too loud, it's going to be very hard to get your melody out. You know, if you're really chugging away here and it's like these strings, these lower strings, they actually have more output, more volume. Because of their size, right? And the high E string, which I'm predominantly using here for the melody, is one of the quietest strings on the guitar. So to make this work, I have to play the E string more aggressively, but not so aggressive that it sounds like crap, right? Or that it actually distorts the note by playing it too hard. But I have to back everything else, the other strings off. So I have to be light with them. Right, so you've got to listen. Got to listen to how loud these other notes are versus your high string. That's right. Yeah, much easier than doing that crazy stretch, right? That's just a B7, by the way. Just a bar across the 7th fret, and your first finger goes down on the G string, 1 fret above your bar. So pay attention to the volume of the melody, and make sure everything else matches it. One of the things I love when I listen to Tommy Emmanuel's playing is how he just massages the backing. He doesn't belt the backing out, he massages it so that the melody is always clear, like always. And I love the way he does that, right? And he doesn't butcher the tune by going too aggressively with the bass and the backing. He knows exactly how they should sit into the blend of bass, chords, and melody. And then, of course, you know, he's so good that he can just add rhythm into that and make it all just sound effortless. And that's, of course, the goal, to make it sound effortless. My playing certainly does not sound effortless. But I can certainly appreciate someone who's so good that they make it sound super, super easy, when in fact it's quite challenging. Yeah, so keep those points in mind. If you have something you want to learn, be methodical about how you do it, and you'll achieve your goal much faster than you would if you weren't being methodical. And that's all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. So I hope you appreciate this little insight into how I progress from concept to something that is more entertaining to listen to, or more pleasing to listen to, or more complete in and of itself. And these little tips about relative volumes of different strings and so forth. All of this really makes a big difference from the listener's perspective, and of course it helps to know what's going to make your listener enjoy the experience more before you're attempting to do it. Otherwise you're going to learn it the wrong way and then have to unlearn that and relearn it, and that's just a whole bunch of extra work that you don't need to do. So that is that. Enjoy, take care, let's chat in the next video. See you later.